I got a question for y'all. Would you be able to be in a relationship with a murderer? Have you ever wanted to watch more videos than the thousands of ones that are already on my channel?
Hell yeah. How I do that? Huh? Tell me.
You know, like the ones that I can't show on YouTube? I got you. I have a Patreon with 3 tiers. This is what you will get per tier. Most of you like to read it. Honestly, I love it. We be going crazy on the Patreon, but I'm going to let you be the judge of that. So y'all go ahead and check out the Patreon and let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting. And thank you for everything. Now, let's get back to the video. I was always thinking like, you know, maybe I could do it. It just adds a little bit of a risk and a little bit of spice to my life. But then like, the spice would be too much if she actually tried to upblickle me or something. Like if she just tried to like wield a knife, then I got to start throwing chairs and shit like that because we not finna to have no fight to the death. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would be open to a Mr. and Mrs. Smith battle, but like I would have to respawn because they might catch me off guard. I don't know. But y'all, we are back with a Rotten Mango video. This is a very recent one. This just came out like 18 hours ago. This is Anime Girl Goes Viral for Stabbing Crush and now has a fan club of men wanting to be killed next. You know, you niggas be stupid, all right? Nigga, what the fuck? What the fuck? What is wrong with y'all? I mean, this is honestly, I chose this, like I did an Audible because we were about to watch The Silent Killer of Korea. We're going to do that next week. This one seems more upbeat, maybe. I don't know. Let's go. Let's watch it. Yay. Let's bada bing and bada boo, baby.
Bada bing, bada boo.
It's 4 a.m. in Tokyo. A woman named, let's call her Mika, is walking back home from this long night out. She had gotten through all the anxiety-inducing parts, so she's gotten through the street, the parking lot, and now she's in her lobby.
Okay.
It's well lit. You most likely need a key card to get in, and she's kind of letting her guard down just a little bit.
Hell no.
She turns the corner and she lets out a blood-curdling scream. 4 a.m. in an apartment building lobby.
Oh, fuck.
She just wasn't expecting to see this sight on the floor tonight. Like smack dab in the middle of the apartment lobby's cold floor, there was a pretty 21-year-old woman just sitting. That's a weird sight, just like in the middle of the floor. She's just wearing a t-shirt as a dress. It's not covering much. She's sitting in the middle of the ground, smoking a cigarette, and having a casual phone call with a friend. Her demeanor was so calm and chill. It's as if she was sitting in her own private living room talking to her friend on the phone. But she's not. She's sitting in the middle of the apartment lobby floor, and there is a half-naked, bloody man dying behind her.
Excuse me?
They were both covered in blood. His blood. It's like she was guarding his body.
Hey, Slim, I'm gonna be. She guarding the body like she a cheater that just killed something. Hey, what would y'all do in this situation? I'm gonna be honest. I'll just walk away. I act like I'm on my phone. I did not see you. I turned my head. I closed my eyes. I did not see you. That shit ain't got shit to do with me. I'm gonna be honest, bro. That shit ain't got shit to do with me. I closed my eyes. I can't tell you what I would do because if some of y'all killers out there, y'all ain't finna catch me. Fuck that. Fuck you mean. Hell no, boy.
The girl covered in blood would later explain.
I'm gonna call 911 when I get into the house. Bro, especially if it's in front of my door. Oh my God. If that shit is in front of my door, I might be like, hey, can you scoot over a little bit, please? I ain't got nothing to do with what you got going on, bro. Can you just like move the body away from my door so I can get inside and feed my dog?
That's the love of my life. And I was waiting for him to die.
Oh, hell no.
Mika didn't know what to do. Because she doesn't know if this girl is armed and dangerous. Still, she has no idea. I mean, this is just all she's gathering in like
she's
2
armed
seconds.
with a body.
She calls the police, and then she snaps a quick picture of this scene because it's just so unbelievable.
Oh, fuck.
This photo would later go viral, and men from all over Japan would start messaging Mika.
Oh, fuck. Wait, I need to see this. I need to see this picture. Oh, this is what she looks like? Oh, shit. She is pretty. Oh, wow. Oh, you a pretty murderer. That's what you is. You know what? It's fine. I don't need to see it. I'll use this as a sign from the Lord. Shit.
Asking her, do you personally know the bloody girl in the picture? Because if you do you know she's single now?
What?
Because I want her to date me. And honestly, I'd let her stab me.
Bitch.
This is
this is like some of y'all who be saying like, oh, I want my favorite idol to step on me. Like me with Hwasa type shit. So, but like this is like real life, you know, or maybe it is. I don't know.
Story in Japan of a girl that was deemed too beautiful to kill.
Huh? The fuck you mean too beautiful to kill? It be nigga. What? Do you know how many people I know that almost got backdoored from a pretty woman? You acting like some people don't be using pretty girls to lure them in to rob them and shit, bro. No, bro. They talk about too pretty to kill. Get the fuck out of here. Hell no. Them the ones I'm suspecting more. The fuck? Too pretty to kill my ass.
As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. We enlisted the help of our wonderful Japanese researchers for this case. But as always with these international cases, if anything is lost in translation or if there's another aspect to this case that you discovered, please let us know in the comments.
Oh, hell no.
And with that being said,
let's go.
Let's get into it.
Let's get to it.
The realtor did think it was kind of strange. Okay, maybe it was like more impressive than strange that such a young, pretty girl could afford such a nice apartment. The apartment needed a deposit of $14,000 and the rent each month would be $1,000. So I'm assuming that Japan works like Korea, where you actually get the full deposit back. Oh. But it's just, still, that's a lot of money to have in one sitting.
Hell
How
yeah.
can a pretty 21-year-old girl even afford that?
Nigga.
But the realtor's like, maybe I'm just being judgmental, you know? So she shows the 21-year-old around. This is the main bathroom, fully renovated. The apartment was so stunning, the girl said she was so happy with the place, she wanted to sign the lease immediately.
That was me here.
The realtor's thinking, maybe she's got rich parents. She could try asking. Is your family moving in with you as well? No. Just me and my boyfriend. He's moving in with me later this year. He just has to quit his job first. Mm-hmm. It sounds like the girl is in a loving relationship, right? And they got concrete plans to start a future together. Unfortunately, the boyfriend she's talking about isn't aware that the two of them were dating.
What?
He wasn't aware that he was going to move in with her like that or that he was going to quit his job at the end of this year. And he also wasn't aware that she was going to stab him in the stomach in bed to make sure that he didn't flirt with other girls.
Hey, oh. See, that's something that I'm kind of afraid of. I don't want my girl to stab me while I'm asleep, bro. Cause I'm a cuddler. I be cuddling this shit. I put you in a headlock type shit, and you able to get a knife and just.
God. Well, we are close to the red light district. Maybe the young girl makes her money at a hostess bar.
Probably. Sure.
She made her commission and she moved on until she saw it on the news. So the business of love in Japan is huge, and a lot of it is dominated by hostess and host clubs, which, side note, this was before I was doing visuals, but we have an audio podcast episode about Lucy Blackman from a long time ago. It's a British woman who went to Japan and worked at a hostess bar in Japan. She was abducted, assaulted, and killed. I'm going to link that below. That's probably my first real deep dive into hostess and host bars in Japan, and I go really in depth into it. Give it a listen. It's a heartbreaking case.
Oh my God.
But I find hostess and host bars very fascinating because of how straightforward it is. Hostess clubs, they cater towards stroking a man's ego, making men feel like the top dog, the alpha male, the manliest, most impressive man in the world.
That's crazy.
And then host clubs are the opposite. It's a bunch of male hosts making women, clients, feel beautiful, young, and wanted.
Oh, okay.
And you would think that being so blunt with this transactional purchase, the intention and all of that, it would just be lost. Because it's almost like, hey, call me pretty. And then you call me pretty. It doesn't mean anything anymore. But no, humans want what they want. And they're willing to spend a lot of money for it. So let's start with hostess clubs first, because it seems like they came around first. There's a lot of different types. I go over it in the audio podcast for Lucy Blackman, but I'm just going to break down a few for you, the main ones for you. The no-touching hostess clubs. These are just like regular bars, but with a twist.
No touching.
A group of corporate salaried men will walk in. Either they're a group of colleagues, or maybe they're with clients that they're trying to sign.
Okay.
They'll walk in, and the hostess bar is filled with pretty young girls. A pretty young woman will greet them and escort them to a secluded part of the bar. So unlike most clubs and bars, the customers are seated pretty far away from each other. They kind of have their own private section so they can truly feel comfortable. Then depending on how many drinks they've ordered, depending on the size of their party, some hostess clubs go hourly, some go by drink, some go by a minimum spend. A group of young women, attractive women, will come out and sit with the group of men. The rest of the night, these women will stay there. So they're not like waitresses where they're like, everything good? Like, I'm going to walk away now. They sit with you. They pour your drinks. They take shots with you. They giggle at your jokes. They ask you questions like, wait, how do banks work again? I have no idea.
I'm not going to lie.
Things like this.
I'm not going to lie, bro. My dumb ass would... See, this is why I'm not going to a strip club. Because, like, my dumb ass going to actually make conversation with them, thinking it's real conversation. I'm not finna give you my money just because you making me feel good as a person, okay? I'm not stupid. I don't think with my dick, all right? I like conversation and companionship, okay? If you start a conversation with me while you shaking ass or whatever you're doing, I'm still gonna talk to you. You know what I'm saying? We might fuck around and have a good conversation, man. Shit. That's why I'm not going to the strip club. I can't do that. Or any of those things where they try to stroke your man's ego. You wanna know how to stroke my ego? I don't know, actually.
And then they let their little eyes twinkle while you tell them the most mundane, boring facts about banks.
Actually, you know how to stroke my ego? This is something that make my heart flutter. Tell me that you enjoy being around me. Or you enjoy my company. That is the secret, nigga, that or make me feel like I matter type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like say it's a pleasure to be around you. That's how you stroke my ego. I don't know if I'm just an innocent piece of shit, but I don't know.
Even though she probably knows like
Sorry,
half
I'm
the stuff
pausing a
that guy
lot.
is
My
saying is
bad.
like wrong, she just goes along with it. Makes him feel like he knows the equation to success and the meaning of life.
Oh, God.
If a man grabs a cigarette, the hostess is ready. It's so smooth. She's got a lighter. She's lighting it while maintaining eye contact. A lot of the salaried men, that's what they're called in Japan, salaried men, are
men.
wiped after work. And the last thing that they want to do is entertain a client and make them laugh. And in places like Japan and Korea, drinking with clients is such a big part of the culture. I guess it's kind of equivalent to like golf with clients here in America.
should be cool.
So
That seems
imagine
kinda
doing
cool.
that on your off-hour time after you've already worked a 10-hour day.
Oh,
For Chinese
fuck.
too. It's all like based on interpersonal relationship and a lot of drinking. It's like you want to do a business deal, you gotta get wasted.
It's insane,
God.
like the amount of liver problems that are probably being caused by
Liver
work. And like I
problems.
know a lot of people think that host and hostess clubs came about in Japan because there's some sick, twisted need for stuff like this. It's actually not. It has more to do with the work environment, like the society's work pressure. So all these salaried men, they're expected to go drink with their clients after work, entertain their client, but they're dead wiped. They're so tired. So they bring them to these hostess clubs. And these hostesses now do their job. They're entertaining the client, asking questions, making the salaried men look good in front of the client. And they have really high social EQ. So they know which company or which employee is paying. They will constantly flatter them in front of the client to make them more influential and powerful.
Oh.
This is crazy. At one point, it said that 90% of the open tabs at hostess clubs were being paid by major corporations. Not
So smart.
What the
crazy,
hell?
not
Yeah.
by individuals, but literally companies that are like, hey, employees, go blow off steam. Hey, bring the clients there. There's an open tab. It's actually considered a somewhat respectable gathering place for business talk or transactions. If you go on a lot of Western media websites, they'll make it sound like a club, but it's not really. Now, the hostess will stroke the man's ego while encouraging him to buy more drinks. It's usually etiquette for the customers to buy the hostess a drink if they're getting a drink. So instead of buying one overpriced shot, you're buying two. And it's always just water for the hostess.
What?
The bartenders are in on it. Everybody knows what's going on because she's got to drink like 80
Yeah.
shots a night. It's usually all water or tiny bit just watered down all the way. By the end of one hostess's shift, maybe she has 80 shots. That's $400 to the establishment, and she'll probably get half of that, which is $200. Now, some surveys show that girls that worked 5 hours a night for 6 nights a week at these hostess bars made anywhere between $2,400 to $3,600 a week,
Damn, y'all getting to that munion. Y'all getting to that munion.
which is around $9,600 or $14,400 a month.
Hey, cuz, I want to be a host. Hold on. I could be flattering. I want to be a host. What's up? Yeah, you want a shot? You want a drink? You want a drink? Drink? I don't know. What the hell? 14 a month.
That's not including bonuses, commissions, personal
I
tips and
wish.
gifts given by the clients. At some hostess clubs, if someone comes in requesting you by name, they're like, hey, I want to sit with Stephanie, you get like $100 just for them dropping your name.
What?
There are some hostesses that make close to 6 figures or even more than 6 figures per month. Now, there are different levels to hostess clubs. You've got gentlemen's
fire.
clubs, and these are the ones where a lot of nakedness is involved. There's dancing. This is kind of more on par with the Western strip club. Then you have no pants cafes. I thought this was so interesting. I never knew these existed. It's quite literally a coffee shop, but the hostesses are naked from the waist down. You can't touch them. You can only look. But like imagine just being served your espresso martini and then, they're all naked.
Just
There's no pants
titties and-
shabu-shabu shops. There's no pants karaoke shops, but no touching. Then there's
I don't know why that would trigger me. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm just not the normal man or something. I don't know. I don't want to eat and just see a pussy in front of me. I don't want to do something and there's just like just titties. I don't want that. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Touch
I
available
don't- I'm
hostess clubs.
cool off
There's
that.
a word for it in Japanese, but
the
customers are
hell?
allowed to grope hostesses above the waist whenever they want, but nothing below the waist and nothing underneath the clothing.
Okay.
Then the most common is the no touching hostess clubs. If you
Also, when I'm making a thumbnail while I was listening to this, so I'm still paying attention.
try to touch the hostess or proposition her for anything, you'll be thrown out.
Get him out of
Now,
here.
how much do the managers actually enforce these rules? It just depends on the class of the hostess club. The more expensive a club, the more strict they are in no touching, no groping, no conversations.
Hey,
At the end of the day, it's like Disneyland. That's how they call it. That's what the hostesses say. It's a fantasy
Disneyland.
that's being
It's
sold. So is
Tittyland.
Disney. The customer is the
It's
most important
Tittyland.
man in the world, and you can't wait to jump in his bed one day, but you can't because the stars aren't aligned for that, and you would get fired. But you love him so much. It's a fantasy. You get paid, the client gets an ego boost, and everybody wins. And
Okay.
interestingly enough, okay, before people are like, oh, that's crazy that they do this in Japan. Interestingly enough, Japanese men are the most observant of the rules, and they're the most transactional, meaning they get what they pay for, and they're very content. It's said it's usually the Western or foreign travelers, the passport bros, that will start
it's
screaming and
always-
yelling when a hostess does not let him touch her.
bro, it's always the passport bros, bro. I hope when I start traveling, nobody look at me no passport, bro. Nigga, I'm just trying to see shit. I want to see mountains and buildings. All right, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care. I don't care, cuz I don't care.
Yeah.
Fuck
Okay.
out of here.
Crazy.
Nigga.
But once a customer becomes a bit more of a regular, how do you keep bringing them into this hostess club? There's something called dohans. And just everything
Dohans.
that I say for a hostess club, there's almost an exact equivalent for a host club, just the male to female version, right? Now, this is another
Rule
chance
34.
for hostesses to
No.
make more money.
That's
It said
wrong rule.
dohans can
Sorry.
bring in an extra few $1,000s up to like $10,000 per month additionally to the payment that they're already receiving. So they can make like $20,000 a month.
What the fuck?
Some clubs don't give you the option of not doing tohans, but tohans are private dates with top clients. You go on a dinner date with a client, then you say, well, I have to go in for work, but I don't want to leave you. You should come back to the club with me. Call your friends. So they come back to the club, and usually the men spend more and more money at the club if they're going to these tohans with the girls. He gets to enjoy an evening out with an attractive young woman. He feels like he's getting looks by passerbys of like, how did he get such a young, pretty woman? He must be rich. He must be
How
special.
did he?
It looks good for him. He becomes more attached to not even the girl necessarily, but to that feeling.
It
He
feels
becomes
good.
attached to that ego boost.
It feels
how he
good.
feels about himself.
Not gonna
So
lie.
he keeps going to the club, keeps going to tohans. The hostesses, they win because technically they make more money and they get free meals. But the reality of it is, I'm sure, is terrifying. I'm sure it's scary what clients try to do when managers and bouncers aren't around. And speaking of managers, managers at these types of clubs are a different breed. And this is kind of pertinent because one of the people in today's story is a manager at a hostess club.
Okay.
Okay? Managers, they watch over the girls like a gambler with a hand of cards. That's how they're best described. Every girl in a club has their own strengths and weaknesses, and the manager has to utilize them like little weapons. She has to do it carefully. Hostesses are in and out of each table, constantly swapping, but it's done in a way where the customers, they don't feel weird about it. It feels natural, like a river flowing around, trickling down. A lot of the hostess clubs will operate by the hour. So get this, there's a science to it. Right upon entering, customers are seated with the most attractive girls.
Okay.
They sit down with the girls, they start drinking. If they're not connecting, the girls are seamlessly swapped with new girls. But it doesn't seem like, oh, they're not connecting, let's swap him. It's more like, oh, I gotta go real quick. And then new girls come over very naturally. But if all goes well, the top girls, they stay. And the main goal is to get to the customer for that second hour mark. Because even if you pass the 1 hour mark by a minute, they have to pay for that full second hour. And then the manager will immediately take away the pretty girls.
That's so smart. Holy shit.
That they just spent an hour connecting to, swap them with new, less attractive girls. Now, if the clients want the original girls back, the manager will either say, ooh, sorry, you have to specifically pay for her, which is an additional couple $100s for an hour.
This damn in-app purchase as strategy. What the hell?
Okay, or they'll be told, I'm so sorry, she has a reservation with the top client right now, but she'll be back in half an hour. Make them sit around for 30 minutes. She comes
Hell
back, they're
no,
happy, they're
nigga.
excited, and then they push into the third hour. The
Bruh.
managers are able to watch the clients like a hawk without even making it obvious. They always say, if a man walks to the bathroom and he even glances at his wrist where his watch is or takes out his phone, he's thinking about leaving. If he just rushes to the bathroom, rushes out, that's fine. But if he even takes a side second to look at his watch, that's it. So when he gets back at his table, what do you know? The prettiest girls are all there waiting for him. Or sometimes they're standing outside the restroom asking him, where'd you go for so long? And they'll take his hand and escort him back to the table while giggling.
How are these people not like? How do these clients don't know that there's like a game to this? Y'all smart as hell to be businessmen, but y'all can't see that there's like a game to like da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's just like they just have a lapse in judgment because they're drunk. There's that, and they just I don't know, bro. I don't know. Huh.
And now that beautiful girl is begging for a bottle of champagne that she's never tasted
Can I
because
have
it's so
some food?
expensive. And she's thirsty.
How the fuck you never taste that and you work here? See, you can't lie to me, lady. You can't. I don't care how pretty you is. You was a fucking liar. How did you not taste this champagne?
Usually a bottle of champagne at high-end establishments like this easily go for $500.
Excuse me?
So before they know it, the wealthy businessman is spending upwards of a few $1,000s in a single night. And it's all about picking the right hostesses. Typically, the most successful hostesses across the board are considered naive and innocent by men. They are perceived, keyword, perceived, by the clients to be less intelligent than them. So they're not intimidated.
These girls are smart, nigga. All these girls are smart. Y'all need to realize that these girls are smart as fuck. It don't even matter if they're... ain't no damn that bimbo shit. No, bro. No. These girls are smart. It's 2023. Come on. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Come on.
Then eventually came the emergence of host clubs, which are basically the same concept, but now it's male host catering to female customers. And it's fascinating. There was a gender studies professor who took a deep dive into the host clubs of Japan. Because, you know, there's always that sentiment when men are attracted to work, it's like, oh, men are men. But then when girls are attracted to, they're like, why would a girl spend money on such a dumb thing, right?
Because girls got sexual
clearly
urges
it makes
too.
sense for both genders to be into it.
Yeah.
But there's some psychological and societal movements that pushed host clubs. First one, women started working a lot more. So they got a lot of disposable income and they're staying single for a lot longer. They're not getting married. They're not settling down, which, side note, a huge customer base for host clubs are married housewives. But let's not get into that. So a lot of these single women, they'll spend money at a host club. And additionally, the host clubs do the same thing for women. So they provide princess treatment. So you know how like the hostesses stroke the male's ego? Well, when you walk in, I was thinking, Magic Mike.
Oh, God.
Vegas. Shirtless,
that Wano?
ripped men that's like humping the floor. Sit on this chair. Let me rub on you. No. You walk in, they hand you a moist towelette. You sit down. They give you a blanket if you're wearing a skirt so you can preserve your modesty. And they sit and they ask about your mundane day. And maybe if it's your second time coming and the last time you came was 2 months ago, they'll be like, how's Steve doing? You're like, how do you know my dog's name? You mentioned it 5 months ago when you stopped by.
Wow.
I'm sure.
Bro, you know what's crazy? Like, some people really like, I don't know what it is with them, but like they think like, I don't know. So me, when I talk to people, I like to like bring up conversations that they talked about before because, you know, I listen. Some people take that as like, I want to, you know, just, you know, like I'm trying to like da 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 da. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why being a normal person is seen as like a romantic gesture or something. Like, nigga, I'm asking you about your day. How's your mental? Are you good? That don't mean I want you as my girlfriend, nigga. Like, hello? Excuse me? Like, are you okay?
They've got journals or something because this is crazy. Their attention to detail, their memory, it's wild. They pour your drinks, they laugh at your jokes, they ask you questions about your life, and they seem genuinely interested in everything that you have to say. If you have to use the restroom, all the hosts in the room stand up.
What?
It's so chivalrous. It's like
that, all right, that's
it's really
kind of
first
too much.
date. Your host, the one that you're sitting next to, will walk you to the restroom door, wait outside just in case, I don't know, you get accidentally flushed down the toilet bowl. It's just so nice. And they don't dress like super ripped and they actually dress pretty feminine. They wear makeup. They have long, brightly colored, like almost anime style hair.
Okay.
When was the last time you went on a date and a guy was like doing all of that, right? So that's why host clubs, they took off.
Oh,
I have something really that you stamps UPS. It's of orders. Every major supply tells you need to write Some host bar clients that were interviewed said, I don't think host clubs would be so popular if Japanese men were more into doing stuff like this when they were dating.
A lot to learn here.
And what's interesting is there is a lot of discourse saying like, oh, women are so naive. Like these girls are so desperate. They walk into host clubs thinking these men actually want to date them. It's actually not like that either. Women go in the same way men go in. They know it's a transaction and that's what they're looking for. That's why a lot of housewives go. They're like, I'm not leaving my husband for some random 19-year-old. I'm in here to stroke my own ego and feel feminine. So just as how men go in for their ego, the professor said, women actually go in to feel young. That's the main, like they both go in not for love or romance. They're literally going in for their own egos. That's it. And the hosts even admit that they change their personalities based on what they think the customer in front of them wants out of this transaction. A lot of male hosts say, we're just here to sell dreams. And those dreams, they cost a lot of money, even for women. The first time being at a host club works a bit differently from the type of hostess clubs that I just described. So there are also hostess clubs that operate like this, but most of it is kind of for host clubs. The way it works is, let's say you and your 3 girlfriends, you can't go in with a guy into most host clubs.
I think I know where this is going. Whoever this murderer is, she gonna think that this shit was real, and she gonna follow a nigga home and then kill his ass. Oh no, that's not funny. I'm sorry.
Most foreigners are not allowed in upscale host clubs either.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Oh, the only way that you can go in with another man is if it's couples. So if it's like us walking together, and if we spoke Japanese, they don't let in foreigners because they think communication is the biggest thing of host clubs.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need to be able to talk. That's what you're getting out of it. So if you can't speak Japanese, then there's moot point. They do have foreigner host clubs though. They all speak English. Now, if you go in with a group of 3 women, then you will be sat host girl, host girl, host girl, right? This is just your first time going in.
That shit looks
Every
beautiful
5 to 10
inside there,
minutes,
though.
the host club manager will ring a bell that everyone can hear, and the host will rotate. But not amongst friends. So the 3 hosts in the room will get up, leave a business card, and 3 new hosts will walk in. And this goes on for 1 hour. So you pay for your very first hour like this.
Is it because they want to find out who they connect the best?
Yes. And at the end, you get kind of a menu
That seems
of all the
overwhelming.
hosts on there, and you go through them to get a refresher and cross-reference with the business cards in your hand. So let's say my friend had a host that I liked. I can't be with that host.
Oh.
Really?
They're really crazy about not creating like these tense environments.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so I only get to choose the host
interesting.
that I've spoken to, and they will make you choose. I read a lot of blogs of people that went for the first time. They make you choose. They're like, pick your favorite. You're like, hee, I can't. They're all so nice. They're like, no, just pick one. Just pick a random one then.
Oh fuck.
So you pick one. They basically force you to exchange line details with them, which is like Kakao Talk or WeChat, WhatsApp. And from there, if you ever visit this host bar again, this is your designated host in perpetuity. So unless this host leaves the club, you can't really change. It's really hard to.
Damn.
Yeah. That's going to be your host every time you walk in.
Oh,
and now
shit.
it's up to that host to bring you back into the club. They will keep following up with you online, try to build some connection with you so it doesn't feel like a sale, or at least
I think I was right.
it shouldn't feel like one. Instead of asking you, hey, when are you going to come back to the club? What day are you want to come back to the bar? Let's make an appointment. He's probably reaching out to you, sending you a picture of the night sky or what he's eating for lunch. You're like, oh, I guess I'll respond because that's kind of nice, right? And then once that connection is built, you want to see him again, but you realize the only way that you can see him is at the club while you're spending your hard-earned money. So the first time you go, it's like $10 an hour for all you can drink for an entire hour, and then you pick a host. But after that, you've got to buy a bottle, and you have to buy drinks for your host because that's etiquette. And that very easily could turn into 1 to 2 hours, and you've completely blown $500 down the drain.
What the fuck?
It's said that on average, depending on the scale of the establishment, you can, on the low end, blow anywhere between $150 to $300 a night, and it can go up to like $10,000 in a night at the high-end host clubs. And just like most hostess clubs, there is no activity allowed at host clubs. But from what I can gather, and from what I've been told by our Japanese researchers, a lot of hosts will engage in sex work, but they'll do it off hours. So they will come back to your place with you, or perhaps a love motel, and they will get paid under the table for those services without sharing a cut with the bar. And the bar is okay with it because that's technically illegal. So they're okay with it because you would think, oh, why don't we get a cut of it, right? But they're saying, whatever you do that helps bring that customer back in more and more, that's on you. And that's illegal if you're doing sex work. Like
So
full
we don't wanna
intercourse.
know.
Yeah, we don't want to know. We don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those things. For some people, this business is crazy lucrative. One of the highest paid hosts in Japan is actually a celebrity of sorts. His name is Roland. He's made a brand for himself being
Oh,
the
shit.
most sought after host.
Roland?
It's said that he makes almost $500,000 per month. Per month.
Damn,
He drives
Roland.
a Ferrari. In 2018, he threw a birthday party at his host club for his birthday.
Oh,
he made
fuck.
$400,000 that night. People showed up to
Bro, you can't. Bro, what the fuck? This. Bro, what?
celebrate him, to buy him drinks, to just fawn over him. And he's a character. He said there are only 2 types of men, me and the rest. He said, I often stare into a girl's eyes and say, your face is so beautiful, but I'm really looking at my own reflection in the girl's eyes.
Oh shit.
And you would think, like, when I'm saying it, it sounds crazy. He comes off cocky and annoying. He sounds like the epitome of every guy that girls hate, right? But if you watch the interviews where he says it, it's so playful. His communication, his body language is so playful. It feels like he's not taking it seriously. And it almost makes you feel more comfortable around him.
Right.
It breaks down this wall of like, oh my God, this is the most successful host and he makes how much a month? It like breaks it down and he's basically poking fun at himself.
Bro, that's interesting. I don't. What the hell, bro? I don't know.
It's so fascinating. But he did a house tour with a YouTuber, and every surface of his bedroom is a mirror.
All right.
He said so that when he has girls over, he can see every angle. Yeah.
女の子と遊ぶ時とかに、
はい
こうなんかいろんな角度が見られるのちょっとなんか
He was also asked in an interview how many
Fuck.
women he slept with, and he very smoothly, without even skipping a beat, says, "Do you drink coffee?" The interviewer is like, "Yes." "Do you remember how many cups of coffee you've had?"
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. You're just a don. Okay, buddy. Shit, Mr. Roland. Fuck.
But Roland is the exception. And, you know, he's at the height of the industry. The others, they make a lot less, way less. I mean, some of them are just now starting to make enough money that they're not living paycheck to paycheck. And these days, the competition is getting even more intense. And it's one of those industries that fluctuates with the economy. There are over 11,000 host and hostess clubs in the red light district of Tokyo alone. And Phoenix Luna had just started working at one of those clubs.
Uh-oh.
To a lot of other guys at the club, it was a chance to be the next Roland. For Phoenix Luna, it was just free housing, honestly, okay? Phoenix had such a rough upbringing. I mean, from what we know, his parents, they separated really early on. So Phoenix and his 6 siblings were sent off to live in this foster care orphanage institution. And it was just not a good place. All the kids there were already pretty traumatized, and they just weren't receiving adequate parental love or compassion. You know, they were treated like adults too early on. Most of the kids, they actually left the institution around middle school age because of how bad it was. And Phoenix, he leaves, no degree in a place like Japan, hard. Not even a high school diploma, impossible. So this middle schooler is getting jobs in construction. And it seems very likely that even if he wanted to work hard, he just kept getting scammed by all these adult bosses that wanted him to perform cheap labor for like next to nothing. Eventually, he was left penniless and without a home. He would just bounce around from hostels and PC bangs. I don't know what they call it in Japanese, but it's like 24-hour internet cafes. He's trying to take naps there. And it's rough. So he thinks, you know, why don't I try something crazy? Let's see if a host bar will take me. Host bars are known to provide dorms for a lot of the hosts that work at the clubs, and that was enough for him. Even if he doesn't get paid right away, at least he's got a place to sleep. A lot of the host bars loved him. He just has the look for being a host, and he's very good with people. Even though you would think that his childhood made him very kind of pulled away from society and closed off, he actually was very good. He wasn't overly out there, overly talkative, just very genuine. So he starts at Club Fusion, and this is not a rags to riches story. He does okay. He quickly ranks up to be the 4th host in the bar, and each club, they have a ranking system, and a lot of the times, they will post pictures of their top 5 hosts or hostesses on the wall behind the reception desk, numbered and everything. So it's like number 1 host, picture, number 2 host, picture. And it's kind of a shitty system because it keeps number one. People walk in, they don't know anything about this place. All they see is, hey, that guy must be popular for a reason. There must be something special about him. And they'll request him and they'll be told, hey, you know, he actually charges a lot more because he's higher in demand. And you're like, well, okay, I guess I'll pay it. And it's a never ending cycle of keeping the top host at the top. So Phoenix is ranked number 4, but he's not killing it. He's not making a ton of money. He's doing okay. Now, here's something fascinating about host and hostess clubs. A lot of the customers are other host and hostesses.
What?
So, for example, some hostesses will get off their shift of entertaining men all day.
It's
And I'm
hostception.
sure it's so draining. They just want someone to entertain them. So they find themselves at host clubs, paying for the very same
Who's ever like the leader of all this, you must be raking in dough because this is a crazy cycle. I know there's somebody at the top of the tippity top that just got to get the money.
thing that they sell.
That's insane.
Companionship, ego boost, and vice versa for hosts that go to hostess bars. And now one of these clients was Yuka Takaoka. And she comes in to Club Fusion. She's a 21-year-old hostess with straight brown-black hair and big eyes. A lot of people said that she looks like a cat, and that got her a lot of loyal clients as a hostess. But now she's at a host bar specifically
Okay.
looking for Phoenix Luna.
Oh.
That's his host name, by the way. His legal name is protected by Japanese courts. She said that
Hey.
Phoenix had come into her hostess bar like a year ago. Long time ago with a bunch of like hosts. Okay, maybe like a few months ago. And he just kind of really stuck out to her. Months passed and she kept remembering, oh my God, like I keep thinking about that really cute guy that had come in. She finds him on Twitter, starts DMing him.
Oh, fuck.
And he's like, well, you can always visit me at my club. So she does. Starting from March 2019, this is important, Yuka starts going to see Phoenix at a club 2 to 3 times a week. And she's like, you're ranked number 4. We should change that. I can help you to get to number 1. I'll order 2 more bottles tonight.
Wow.
And she's reassuring him, like, no, it's fine. Like, I have the money. Don't worry. She would go as far to spend $6,000 in one night to help him raise ranks.
Oh God.
Every single club has a high earner song. A lot of host clubs adopted this thing where every single night, the host who makes the most money that night will start singing on stage when it's time to start closing up. And this song is not like everybody's cleaning and the custodians have come out and they're just singing and nobody is listening. It's more like a concert, like an idol concert, and they're being fawned over, and the host club makes it seem like this grand
is
gesture for
crazy.
the host to have this honor of singing for the patrons. They kind of make it like that. So these clients, they feel pride if they helped their host get to that spot by the end of the night.
Yes.
And
Okay.
Yuka was one of them. She
Wow.
would spend $10,000 in one night just to get him up there to sing. Phoenix didn't argue because that's the whole point of his job. It's to make money.
Yeah.
And Yuka said that she was a manager at a hostess bar. I mean, he could kind of let his guard down a little bit with her out of anyone. Like, if anyone knows that this is a transactional business and that there's no real romance or love or attraction, it would be Yuka. She's in the same industry, doing the same thing to men, so she should know, right? She's half Chinese, half Japanese. Yeah, she was born in China, actually, in 1998.
Oh,
but
shit.
they moved to Japan when she was 2 years old. And, like, she threw chairs at people. That was a thing in her childhood. Yeah, in high school. Let me give you some backstory.
What?
Yuka had a very creative personality.
Wait, there's no way she said that as if like I didn't say that at the beginning of the video. What?
She has this very cute, naive girl next door appeal to her, and it's very easy for her to get male attention. That's what everybody said. She had boyfriend after boyfriend in high school, and this is no
I'm just looking at these TikToks. Oh my goodness.
shame, by the way. What is shame, though, is she exhibited some alarming behavior even as a kid.
What?
One time, someone insulted her boyfriend, and Yuka got mad and hurled a chair at them. Just
Oh,
like
fuck.
rage throwing chairs at a high school kid.
What
for
the
probably
hell?
saying your boyfriend's not that cute. It's a little weird. So after high school, Yuka drops out of college and she's like, I'm just going to focus on making money. She starts hostessing at a bar, and she was a spectacular hostess. She knew how to stroke men's egos. She knew how to make them feel
It's
good.
not hard.
And she really does have the perfect innocent girl look that people really prefer in the hostess scene. She ends up so good at her job, she becomes the manager of the place. And remember what I said about managers? They're cutthroat. They know how to move people around. They know people. They're quick on picking up social cues and signals. None of her coworkers had anything bad to say about her. They said, there's actually a lot of competition at hostess bars. Like, you would think everyone's hee hee ha ha and friendly, but it's cutthroat. But even when Yuka wasn't the manager, you could actually go to her for advice. And you didn't feel like she's giving you bad advice to try and backstab you or has a different motive. She was just very nice. She just seemed safe to be around. I guess unless she wanted to date you. After visiting Phoenix a few times at the host bar, Yuka finds herself thinking about this man every waking second of every day of her life. Her existence revolves around this man. Everything she sees, she's like, oh my God, that reminds me of Phoenix. Oh my God, every thought that she has becomes about Phoenix. It starts consuming her. He was the last thing that she thought about before going to bed, and he was her everything. She would lay there thinking about him, waiting for a new message online to pop up, and then she would check her bank account, and all the money she saved up in her career was gone. She had blew it all at his club.
Oh fuck.
And she's not a Nebo baby. She's not a millionaire. She did not have the funds to be spending like this. But she felt like there's just no other way to see him, unless I go to his bar, unless I spend money on him. So she feels like, well, it's fine though. This is an investment. He likes me and I like him, and we can't be together right now because of his job at the host club, but eventually we'll be together. To ensure that, she would even pay close to $9,000 a month to exclusively reserve him as her host. So remember how I said you can spend hundreds of dollars an hour, like your second or third time at a host club? You don't get your host for a full hour. They're in and out of tables because they've got other clients coming in. So you probably maybe get them for like max 20 minutes. So $9,000 a month, and anytime Yuka comes in, she still has to spend money, but he cannot go to any other client. Even if another client comes in, he cannot go. But if she's not there, he's free to see all his clients that he wants. He just has to drop everyone to go with her if she's there. And that $9,000 is not unlimited. That's just the base pay. She still has to pay what every client does when they come in and buy drinks. So in just 2 months, Phoenix goes from being ranked number 4 to rank number 1 at the club, all thanks to Yuka.
Wow.
But she didn't have the funds to keep paying for all of this, so she had to join a delivery health company to make some extra money. Delivery health is exactly what you think. They deliver 24-hour dispatch-style services straight to your door. If you're feeling a little bit sick or a little bit under the weather, they will dispatch a sexy nurse to show up at your door and
What?
have sex with you.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they call it delivery.
What the fuck? Okay. I thought they was gonna give like ibuprofen or something, not pussy. Like some perks, like not pussy. Oh my God, man.
Health. I found it very fascinating. They also have hotel health, which are hotels that also have sex workers on call. So you like book in, and instead of getting room service, you get other services. It's fascinating, yeah. And the nurse Side note, they're not actually dressed like nurses because you have to pay extra for costume play, but they will usually have a chaperone that's waiting outside your house to make sure that they make it out okay with no issues. There's even delivery health pickup. A lot of guys actually like this. So instead of having the girl come straight to their apartment door, they'll actually meet up at like in front of a convenience store. And they said there's a thrill of walking her back to your home. And these light conversations, that's where there's a lot of tension building.
Feels real, maybe.
Yes, and you can even add on purchases before you meet her in front of the convenience store. And one of the more popular add-on purchases is that she comes with a hidden, she hands you a remote. And there is obviously something that has been placed within her body that you can control in public as you're walking back to your apartment.
Nigga, she got vibrating panties? This is insane. This is very insane.
And this is just one level of the kind of like adult services that they provide in Japan. They also have soap houses. I went down a rabbit hole. Soap houses are
Stephanie,
fascinating. So they're bath houses turned into sex work. You go in and you book a bath. So each room has a private bath, and it's all about like a very sensual bath experience. And then afterwards, there's payment for other activities. Yeah, the pricing on all of this is really intense. Like if you get delivery health and you didn't shower prior to the meeting, they will charge you for not showering prior to the meeting, which honestly, it makes sense. But regardless, Yuka hated it. She hates working at delivery health, and it's starting to take a toll on her mentally, but she feels like it's gonna pay off eventually. Phoenix Luna is gonna make enough money, he's gonna quit his job, and then we're gonna move in together. Side note, she never told Phoenix that she's doing delivery health on the side.
You know what's funny? What do people think is going to happen after they do that? Like, oh, we're going to move in together. End of goal. Like, is there, what? Is more? What?
Just said that she's got the bar that she manages, and she has this crazy rich sugar daddy that takes her on dinner dates and pays her a big sum of money. She felt like she's hiding the truth for this heroic cause, their love story. She said she basically got confirmation of the plan of moving in together when she told him that she loved him, to which he responded, at the club, mind you, at the club. He said, love you too, let's get married one day in the future. She claims that he told her that he wanted to move in with her a year after he quit his job. Which, first of all, we're not even sure if this is what he said, but second of all, it's kind of like going to a strip club and a dancer tells you that they're only here to pay for school. It could be true, it could be a lie, but as a customer, you're not really entitled to know the truth. And it's not uncommon for popular hosts to kind of live with their top clients. So top clients will have their apartment if they're single, or if they're married, they'll have a secondary apartment if they're really loaded. And then that host will come stay like every Wednesdays and Thursdays. It's still very transactional, but it is kind of like, oh, partly we move in together part-time. It's definitely not in the traditional sense. And if anyone should have known that, it would have been Yuka.
Yeah.
But she's in too deep.
Damn.
April of
The
2019,
music.
they had intimate relations at a love motel. And this only drove Yuka further into this delusion that they were Romeo and Juliet.
Oh my
That's how she
God.
saw the situation.
Oh,
They
fuck.
desperately want to be together, but because of life circumstances, they can't. But her hardship, her engaging in sex work, it's all part of a big story that she's doing this for love.
Yuka, no.
At this rate, Yuka was dangerously headed into yandere territory. So yandere is a type of character, typically in shows and movies, but I mean, she can technically exist in real life too. It's usually a girl that is obsessed with one guy, and it's usually girl to guy. She's obsessive, jealous, full on toxic, unhealthy, illegal levels of attachment, foaming at the mouth for him, addicted to him, his scent, his everything. She is ready to be violent. She's ready to commit crimes and potentially even
She's
murder
an
people
animal.
just to be with this guy. If I'm a yandere for you and I see another girl look at you, I could punch her in the face. Like, just toxic levels. It's not even like she's flirting with you. She just looks in your general direction. I'll kill her. Like, that's the vibe. It's a combination of two Japanese words, one which means sick and the other one means love struck. Someone who is so love struck that they're sick in the head. I fell down a rabbit hole again on this one, and I'm gonna be honest with you. There is a yandere subreddit with 73,000 members. There's even a video game that you can get called Yandere Simulator. And I don't know if it's still available because it was really controversial. But you play a girl in school, high school, that's infatuated with a boy in your class. He doesn't even really know you like that. Like, he really doesn't know you. You guys are not dating.
So it's like full-on stalker vibes.
Yeah, it's just a stalker. But it's like a hot stalker. The yandere are always like conventionally very attractive.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the game, you're basically stalking this guy, and any girl that talks to him, looks at him, the mission is to cut her up with a knife. And then for some reason, you have to drag and hide their bodies and then take pictures of their skirt. It's a pretty unsavory game. That's why it's controversial,
what?
but it's popular.
What?
Now back to the subreddit. A lot of the
What is the purpose of taking a picture of her skirt? What?
posts they have up are depicting women being so infatuated with a man, they're basically forcing themselves on them sexually, like tying them up and forcing them to get her pregnant. And usually the women in question are really, really conventionally attractive, like with double Ds. And the people who really like this subgenre typically are men. I guess they like the idea that they make a woman go so crazy that she loses her mind.
Nigga, that shit is not fun. That shit is not fun. This is not fun. What the hell?
And is foaming at the mouth and lives, sleeps, breathes him. One Reddit comment reads, I don't know why other people like yandere, but personally, I just like cute girls who might be a little batshit crazy. Another comment reads, I guess people like the fact that a person like that, like a yandere, isn't likely to leave or betray you in a relationship sense. They're not likely to cheat on you. They're not likely to break up with you. So maybe.
It's like a fantasy, right? Is it like
But
kind
they'll
of like
kill
like those
you.
funny TikTok girls?
I mean, it's fine. Yeah, they won't break up with you or leave you. They'll kill you. Like, bro, excuse me. Like, no, I don't want this. This is not a good trade-off. Nigga, leave me. Don't kill me, bitch. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not that great of a person. Fuck, please leave me alone. God damn.
Like when you're getting kidnapped, but your kidnapper looks like this hot dude. That's like,
Yeah, I
kinda
think
like
so.
that, maybe?
Yeah, and like I think, you know, when you just look at it from a media standpoint, I don't judge people's interest as long as it's between two consenting adults. I
Yeah.
don't think yandere or the trope of yandere in anime, because it's a common trope, I don't think it's inherently dangerous. It just adds a lot of elements, story elements
So
to a
they
plot
up
or to a
blick on
show.
your ass, boy.
But this is far from like the craziest interest I've ever come across.
yeah.
But in today's case, it's gonna go very, very sideways.
Oh,
There are two sides to this story. Because Phoenix is a host at a host bar, he does have a level of pressure and responsibility to take care of his clients outside of the bar. Not saying he has to sleep with them unless he wants to and chooses to, but he has to make sure that they're happy. So he would go on these tohans with Yuka, where he would go to cat cafes with her, go watch movies with her. And Yuka, even though she was paying for all the dates, and there is a transactional element to all these dates, she didn't see it like that. She was like, no, this is love. This is a real date. This is my
love.
boyfriend.
Nigga, no.
Do you see what the problem here is? You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it would only continue to escalate when Yuka leased a 5th floor apartment close to Phoenix's work, and she felt like, no, we both want this. All I have to do is wait for him to quit his job and move in with me, and then he will be all mine. And they will be
No.
together forever.
No.
But the more Yuka is doing for Phoenix, the more he's pulling away. By the end of May, so this is just 2 months.
2 months.
By the end of May, they're fighting nonstop. Yuka is always demanding just things that don't make sense. I do want to preface this by saying they're not dating. They never were officially boyfriend and girlfriend. Both of them will admit that. It's actually pounded into host heads from the day that they start working that they should never get a girlfriend. You're being paid to be a boyfriend to a lot of women, and if they find out you have a girlfriend, the fantasy is dead. Like,
Yeah.
why would they pay money for that?
Yeah.
Both parties knew that. They were not exclusive. They were not even dating. But Yuka would do these things where she would call Phoenix while he was at work. And she's like, can you please come over? He explains, I'm sorry, Yuka, I can't right now because I'm at work, but maybe I can come after my shift. That's very reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Yuka would keep calling and calling and would even respond that if he didn't come immediately, she would jump off the roof of her apartment. Phoenix didn't know what to do because on one hand, he's a compassionate person that would never want someone to do something like that. But on the other hand, he feels really burdened by her because, like, what responsibility does he have for her mental health? They're not even dating. He was so stressed out by Yuka, he kind of starts distancing himself from her.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Why are you threatening to jump off a building? You know what, bro? This, oh my God.
On a Reddit post, asking people why they're into yandere characters, a response reads, I guess it's the idea that someone is so loyal, so devoted, and completely attached to you that they'll be willing to do literally anything to make sure you and they are not separated. Yes, a yandere girl is crazy, but it's not because she's evil. She does things with the intention of helping you, even if that's not necessarily the right thing to do.
I feel like there's like a thing of control about this because, like, you know, like some people love, like a lot of people like to be in control of stuff. So probably like having the idea of somebody that you have beside you that you can control, it's not really the sense of like controlling and just actively controlling them. It's like having it in the mind like, oh yeah, I got her wrapped around my finger. It's not that I want to actually like make her do whatever I please, but it's like the accessibility is what makes it like boom, boom, boom. I like this. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes sense in my brain.
I should note that a yandere girl won't randomly stab you unless there's a compelling reason to do so. May 21st, 2019.
Oh shit.
Deranged Yuka found her compelling reason to do so. Yuka woke up to her friend blowing up her phone. Phoenix was at work and Yuka is alone, and her friend is telling her, you'll never guess who I saw at a love motel. Phoenix with another client.
Oh fuck. No.
Yuka paced
God damn, friend, why'd you say that now?
around the apartment all day until Phoenix came to see her because he was like, yeah, I'll come see you after work. And she's screaming, why the hell were you at a love motel with another woman? And I'm sure Phoenix is taken aback because, again, they're not dating. This is his line of work, right? But he reassures her that they did go to a love motel, but they didn't do anything physical. Yuka's really hurt, and she tells him, okay, fine, I get it. It's your job. But from now on, you have to tell me if you ever see another woman outside of the club. The next day, Yuka's on the phone with her friend, and she noticed that Yuka didn't sound good. So she's like, hey, Yuka, is everything okay? Yuka
She's
starts
foaming
explaining
at
how
the
she
mouth.
worked all day at the delivery health job, and just, I don't know, the relationship's not going well. Her friend listened, and I presume she also is in the industry because she tells Yuka, look, if you want to be with Phoenix and he's a host, you've got to put up with this stuff. That's
Yeah.
the job. That's what comes with dating a host.
Yeah.
Yuka gets off the phone and calls Phoenix. And he's like, hey, I just want to let you know, after work today, I'm going to go get drinks with a female client. Like, I have to. He's fulfilling his promise to her that he would tell her if he went anywhere with another woman. Even though, again, he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Yuka was so mad. She took to journaling. She wrote down her feelings. She wrote about how the only way to ease the pain of this relationship was to kill Phoenix.
All right.
She said that she
all
was
right, listen, you crazy bitch. See, I don't like, bro. I don't. Why? Come on, bro. Like you were cracked. Like, come on, cuz like he oh my god. Like, bro, he's literally fulfilling what you told him to do, and these are the boundaries, quote unquote boundaries, and you still want to kill this nigga? See, this is why sometimes you just gotta say fuck it and say fuck your boundaries, nigga. It's my job. Are you dumb? You literally are in this line of work. It's my job, stupid. The fuck?
Gonna kill him and then die, like Romeo and Juliet, you know, so that they could be together forever. She wrote, I
No.
apologize to everyone involved with me. I've
No,
always had a
you're going somewhere else. You're not going to where he's going. Y'all niggas, what the fuck?
bad habit of telling lies, and I wanted to be the heroine of a tragedy.
Why?
Something beautiful, something fleeting, and I don't know what happened and what didn't. Sorry for being a bad daughter. I'm sorry for being a stupid daughter. I have a tendency to tell lies, and I don't know what's a lie or the truth. And when I found someone I love, I didn't want him to look at anyone else, so I thought it'd be best to kill him. The me that has nothing knows nothing. I didn't like calling him Luna Kun. So this was his stage name before the stabbing. Later, it's Phoenix. It just made me feel like money. But to me, he's real name redacted. The one that I love. I love you from the bottom of my heart, and even when you only see me as money and you only feed me lies because you're a host, if you die, all of our words become true. So I'm going to take care of you now. Don't worry, because I'll do anything to be with you.
How do people get so poetic when they go batshit insane? Niggas want to act like Edgar Allan Poe when they about to kill somebody. I don't understand that. Like, where was all this romantic bullshit when you were going insane? You did not sound like this. You didn't sound like this. Why are you trying to make this so poetic, bro? This shit has been a terrible story since the beginning of the story. You know what I'm saying?
According to our Japanese translator, Yuka uses the word aishiteru instead of daisuki, which is much stronger of a phase of saying I love you. Most couples, especially young couples who haven't been dating long, like example 2 months, will only use the more like love ya, I imagine is kind of like that, right? Versus I love you. But she uses the very strong emotional word for love. It's very interesting. Now, another message reads, I want to be a tragic heroine. How is it possible for him to look at other women than me? I know killing him is for the best. If I kill him, it'll be eternal, and there will be no pain afterwards. I don't need anything other than him. Yuka had officially spiraled. After drinking with a female client, Phoenix came to visit Yuka. It said that she asked him to come over and help clean her apartment, and I believe that he was going to be compensated for his time. So he helps her hang curtains, they talk, they have sex. And after all of that, Phoenix is like, hey, can I please just take a bath? It's been such a long day. He draws a bath, gets in, ends up falling asleep in the tub. And he's thinking, oh my God, this is so dangerous. I can't fall asleep in a tub.
What the
So
fuck?
he gets up, dries himself off, puts on a pair of boxers, and runs into Yuka's bed and starts napping. While he was asleep, though, Yuka had gone through his phone and found pictures of Phoenix and another woman at the bar. Now, these pictures are said to not have been in any context in any way. So they're not kissing, they're not groping each other. But Yuka felt like, why? Why are you taking pictures together? Why would you need to keep these pictures? Why would you have them on your phone? At 3:50 a.m., Yuka walks over to her kitchen and picks out the sharpest knife. She had bought it at the store recently.
Oh,
She walks into the bedroom, finds Phoenix asleep, and he just looked so peaceful.
and you stabbed him?
So she sat on top of him, took a good look at how he looked, and then plunged the knife into his stomach.
What the fuck?
The knife had gone so deep into his stomach, the handle of the knife was basically inside of his body.
What?
Not the blade, the handle. She used that much force. Phoenix said that he opened his eyes. He didn't feel any pain. He just had shock, like, this doesn't make sense. Why is there a knife in my stomach? There was so much blood, like, gushing out of his stomach. His survival instinct kicked in immediately. He tries to push Yuka off of him forcibly, but she's sitting in a way that makes it really hard for him to move. And additionally, the knife in his stomach doesn't help that either.
Oh,
So then he tries to strangle her, again, just to get her off of him. And eventually, Yuka asked him, do you like me? Which is just so unsettling, okay? To which he felt like, okay, this is my way out. This is what she wants to hear, obviously, right? And he says,
No.
as sincerely as possible, I love you. Of course, I love you. Let's be together forever. He's really hoping this is what's going to get her off of him. But she stares back at him and gives him the most chilling response. I love you too. So let's die together. This is after 2 months of not even dating. Phoenix starts to shake in pain because now the pain is kicking in. His eyes are wide, his whole body is trembling. And whether it was a struggle or Yuka chose to get off of him, it's unclear, or a little bit of both. Yuka forcibly pulls the knife out from his stomach, which is not a good idea.
Why?
When you have injuries like that, it's just not a good idea to pull it out because then he could bleed out to death.
Oh.
She throws the knife under the bed, and this caused Phoenix to bleed even more. And he's begging her to call an ambulance, but she's not moving. So he runs for the door. He could hear her screaming behind him, "Don't go, don't go." But he kept going. He's smearing and dragging blood all throughout the apartment unit, into the hallway, into the elevator. Yuka's chasing after him. The only reason that he made it into the elevator and was able to get the doors closed was because Yuka wanted to grab her phone, her glasses, because she didn't have her contacts in, and cigarettes before chasing him. Her cigarettes, which is an interesting detail we're going to go into later.
What the?
The man she's obsessed with, to the point of killing, is running downstairs bleeding to death. But she's like, gotta grab my cigarettes. The entire elevator looks straight out of a horror scene. The control panel with all the buttons for all the floors covered in blood. The walls streaked in blood. Once Phoenix made it to the lobby, he collapsed on the floor, blood all over him, only in his underwear. I mean, most of his body was red now from all the blood he was covered in. He covered his face with his hand. He saw Yuka calmly approach, sit down next to him, and light a cigarette. Yuka grabbed her phone, called a friend, and didn't even tell her what happened.
She didn't call police, nothing?
No. Literally waiting for him to die.
Wow.
I'm not going to show you the picture. Picture is very telling. I would say the picture is gruesome, but that's not the point. So you do see him laying behind her, and she's sitting in a black t-shirt that's almost like a dress. She's got her legs propped up, so her knees are bent and her feet are flat on the floor.
Bro, I want to see this fucking picture so bad. I'm trying to figure out, like, why you didn't even kill yourself. Oh my God. Oh my God. This looks so eerie. Fuck. Wow. Oh, fuck.
Right?
It doesn't look that bad, but it looks bad, but it's not like insane. It's insane. I don't know. I'm talking from a desensitized mind. That's crazy.
She's got cigarette in between her index and middle finger, just like casually relaxed to the side. It's not even to her mouth. It's not even
like she's so
relaxed.
casual.
It's very like, and then she's got her phone to her ear, and she's just. It looks like she's sitting on a park
That
bench having a
picture's
conversation
accurate
with a
right
friend.
there.
Right at that moment, a woman, presumably another resident in the building, screams bloody murder at the sight of the two covered in blood, calls the police, and later would take the now famous picture. It's crazy. Yuka looks like a high schooler in the picture. She looks so young, yeah. But what's even crazier is that this picture would later gain her admiration and fans. Some people, they created this picture in different artistic formats.
How do you even, bro? How the fuck would you even be attracted to this type of shit? Like, bro, y'all niggas lonely as hell. What the fuck?
Literally fan art of a stabbing scene.
This is weird.
Some people out there are actually interested in Yuka because they call her the real life yandere. And they say, guys, she's too beautiful to be a criminal. They even wrote things like, she can stab me any day if she wants. She's so pretty, I want her to stab me like that. Some people were even setting her as their wallpaper on their phones. And they said,
You know, a lot of people like me, I would say, oh, you know, she's very pretty. I would like to, you know, what's something cool? I want to see her in a nice outfit. I'd like to see her like eating. I like to go out for some coffee, look into her eyes, or talk, or lay on the grass, look at the stars. You know, some nice corny shit. Not this nasty. She could stab me. Ooh, she could stab me any day. Fuck my pain. Fuck. If I actually get stabbed, all that feeling will go away because now I'm stabbed and now I gotta worry about surviving. Like, you're sick. You're sick. I mean, I'm not really gonna yuck nobody's yum, but you're sick, okay? Fuck.
I mean, she's my dream girl. Like, I want someone to love me like that.
That's not love.
Wow. Come on.
Thankfully,
Come
this is a small
on.
portion of the netizens reacting like this, but still, it's so dumb. I don't know what else to say.
Stupid.
So when the police arrive at the scene, they approach Yuka like she's got a bomb strapped to her chest, which she doesn't, but they don't know. I mean, I don't blame them. This is such an unhinged scene. I would imagine that Yuka is not above doing anything crazy. Who knows what else this girl has got planned? So they're trying to be gentle with her. And all of this is evidenced in the now viral photo because in the photo, there's actually a cop squatting down next to Yuka trying to talk to her.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
saw
in an
that
attempt
shit.
to get her handcuffed. It's not like he's pouncing on her, slamming her to the ground and arresting her. But she goes without a fight. She was even seen creepily smiling at
You
people in
didn't
the
even
cop car.
kill yourself.
She said, I had to do this because I loved Phoenix so much and
You
I wanted to be
didn't
with him
even-
so badly that I
Bitch, you didn't even complete your mission. Like, what the fuck?
had no other choice. I thought him saying things like, I like you and I want to be with you. All those things would become a reality if we both died.
You didn't die. You didn't even get. Oh, you're smiling. You didn't even get what you didn't even complete the miss.
Which the cops and netizens were like, I don't know, because we saw the viral picture and it doesn't look like you cared if he lived or died, honestly.
Yeah.
You're smoking a cigarette without a care in the world.
Inside too.
Yuka was asked about those cigarettes and why she just looked so relaxed. And she said, oh, well, I mean, I'm addicted. I'm super addicted. I smoke like 4 boxes a day. That's the equivalent to 80 cigarettes a day, guys. But as for how she was able to just callously smoke while he lay dying behind her, she said she has no answer on why she felt compelled to smoke. She said that she just wanted to smoke because she was waiting for him to die so that she could die and they could be together forever.
You didn't die.
I do want to preface this by saying I didn't see any reports that she brought down any weapons into the lobby. So from what we gather, she left the knife in the bedroom. So if that's the case, how was she planning on exiting? I would imagine she would want to be physically next to him when she did it. So even that's a question of like, are we sure that this...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because if we talk about Romeo and Juliet, Juliet definitely laid down with Romeo while they was dying, or she laid on top of him. That's what I saw with the Leonardo DiCaprio version. This is not a Romeo and Juliet story. This is nasty. I don't like this.
was her plan. Meanwhile, Phoenix was given 20%. 20% chance to live. Doctors said the knife had punctured his liver. He was immediately operated on. They tried their best, but they really didn't have high hopes. He was in a coma for 5 days. And then he woke up. He survived. And actually, his stage name, Phoenix Luna, was created after the stabbing because he was a survivor. He won.
This nigga survived. What? This nigga, what the fuck? Oh my God, this nigga survived. Holy shit. What?
Wanted his name to be symbolic of everything that he went through and how he still rose above the ashes
Oh my God.
like a phoenix.
Real shit.
And that makes it sound easy, but it wasn't.
What?
He was hospitalized for over a month, and he said,
Oh.
at first I couldn't speak because I had no voice. I was bedridden. I had to relearn how to walk. Once
My nigga alive. I'm sorry you had to go through all that shit, but my nigga alive. Yes, nigga. Shit, that crazy bitch in jail. Oh God.
they allowed me out of bed. I couldn't eat after the incident, so I lost a lot of weight. And then came the nightmares. He would wake up drenched in sweat, and he had this reoccurring nightmare that Yuka was contorting her body to crawl through the small hospital window to find him. And he requested nonstop to be in a windowless hospital room, even if that meant never seeing the sun. Phoenix stated the only thing that got him through this time was his coworkers would come to see him to cheer him on. And because they thought that he was going to die, the police worked really hard tracking down any of his relatives. This was the first time in 5+ years that he was reconnected with his siblings.
Hey.
Because after he left the orphanage, they were all out of contact. And it was just nice to see them.
Oh
again.
my
He
God,
said
it's
it was
a
very
happy
bittersweet moment.
story. Oh shit, yeah.
This is what Phoenix is going through. And the court is like, okay, Yuka, you can get out on bail. They even let her train to be a nurse caretaker.
All right, get the fuck out. Stephanie, don't make me turn this shit off. We got 6 minutes left. Don't make. What?
She went to training 3 times a week while she's out on bail. I'm sorry. If you're like, Stephanie, name one nurse you wouldn't want when you're sick. Yuka Tako Aka and Lucy Letby. But like, are you kidding me? A nurse? Yuka said that she was inspired by this incident, inspired by attempting murder, that she wanted to help others from now on. She actually obtained her qualification while out on bail. The trial started December 3rd, 2019, and reporters did notice something very strange. When Yuka was brought in for the trial, Phoenix looked over at her and gave her a warm smile. It wasn't a smirk. It wasn't a weird, creepy smile. It was a genuine, nice smile. And the reporters were like, what is going on? This girl tried to...
Nigga, that'd be my smile that I got people coming after you. So you better hope you in jail. So you better not come outside. That's my smile. The been fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your grits. And not even the ones with cheese on it. You just dry grits. You just a grit. That's what you
stab
is.
you and kill you. Phoenix would state to the courts that he already forgave Yuka. Before the trial, Yuka had sent him a long letter that read, sorry for the sudden letter, and she just apologizes. I mean, I can read part of it, but it's just
Don't
the
read
most
that shit.
basic apologies. Like, I
Don't read
understand you
that
must feel
shit.
anger, pain, and frustration, and suffering will only increase towards me, and I should disappear. I'm sorry, it must have been more painful than I can. It's like those words. It's a really long letter, and just, I'm sorry is like every other sentence. A lot of netizens felt like the amount of time she said, I'm sorry, became so repetitive that it almost lost all meaning towards the end of the letter. And I feel like with this letter, I didn't particularly feel genuine remorse. And nobody would have blamed Phoenix if he didn't either. Most people in his shoes would have just ripped up the letter and not even think about it.
Yeah.
But Phoenix, he thought long and hard and decided to tell the judge that he didn't want to push for harsh punishment. He wanted her to take her own apologies and words to heart and to change. Live a normal life, of course, without him in it.
Wow.
Phoenix did settle a civil suit with Yuka where he was awarded $40,000 for his injuries, but that all went to medical bills, and it's honestly nothing considering all the physical therapy that he had to undergo, the mental trauma. So even though he was compensated, he doesn't need to tell the court to be lenient with Yuka. But Phoenix continued, I feel partly at fault for what happened. He said he had no idea Yuka was engaging in work to pay for the bottles at the bar. He said had he known, he would have treated her very differently because of the mental toll that can take on someone.
Motherfucker, that is not your fault. That is not your fault at all. That is not your fault at all. I understand you's a good guy. Nigga, that's not your fault. Fuck this bitch. Fuck her. What the fuck? Nigga, what? What?
He said this was partly his fault and he just wants her to be happy.
None of this shit is your fault. Nigga, she was happy inside the cop car. She was happy. She's been happy this whole time. She's been happy for what she's been doing. Nigga, what? I don't want that bitch to be happy. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that. Ugh.
Mixed feelings about whether or not Yuka feels genuine remorse and if she should have a second chance back in society. This debate is not including the people that are sexualizing and romanticizing her. Side note, her fans started a GoFundMe to bail her out of jail. They raised $4,000 in 2 days. The donation link was mass reported and eventually taken down, but it's just crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, she's being praised for being basically pretty. This is pretty privilege at its finest, and for her resembling some sort of real life anime character trope.
Crazy.
Yeah. But sane-minded people were wondering, okay, is she genuinely going to change? Or should she allow to have a second chance? Or not? Is she dangerous?
To the gallows.
Taking all those things into consideration, the judge sentenced Yuka to 3.5 years for attempted murder. Yuka burst into tears at her sentencing. She was sobbing so hard her whole body was shaking. And Phoenix's request to not harshly punish her probably played a huge role in the sentencing, which sounds really light to me. Thankfully, the courts made it so that Yuka is no longer allowed in the red light district of Tokyo. So at least Phoenix will have some peace of mind if he continues to work in the industry. He was already having nightmares at the hospital. The last thing he needs is to be at work and have this looming fear that Yuka's just going to show up one day at his workplace acting like nothing happened.
But then again,
Like,
you
hey,
never
babe.
know.
But Yuka should be out in a few months, February of 2024. From what we know, she has been well behaved in prison and plans to pay her parents back for the settlement that they paid Phoenix. She said that she's also willing to face all the social consequences when she gets out. Meanwhile, Phoenix is doing well physically and can finally eat and talk normally like before.
Hey.
But because his liver was damaged in the attack, he can no longer drink alcohol. And for that reason, there was always this looming threat that Phoenix wouldn't have a job. Because, drinking is such a big part of being a host. But his work family pulled through. Now at work, the other hosts take all of his drinks for him.
Hey.
And I don't think any of his new or old clients care that he's not drinking. They're actually all fascinated by his story. It's definitely a strange situation. Phoenix was almost murdered.
He's
He
the
has a scar on his
Terminator.
stomach to prove it. But his popularity in the clubs was skyrocketing afterwards. It's kind of dark, but everyone wants to know what's so special about Phoenix that a pretty young girl would throw her life away to try and kill him, to become so obsessed with him. It's dark, but Phoenix just kind of embraces it. He survived and he's making the best out of it. He even said he's kind of thankful that people are interested in his story because it's helping pay his bills. He said, I don't hold a grudge. I think there was a reason for her to stab me. It's also kind of thanks to her that I'm able to achieve sales that I did in less than a year since I became a host.
I mean, shit.
I mean, this guy really knows how to see the silver lining of things.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, Phoenix was later interviewed at his new club, The Servant of Eve. He told the story of how he was stabbed, which we already went over, but it's just really interesting to see him in his element. I'm sure it was thrilling for journalists to go there and interview him and seeing all the women around him. Phoenix looks really relaxed. He has silvery, like a silvery hue to his hair, and he just looks straight out of a boy band. He's telling the story of his stabbing, and every once in a while, a woman would lean in and get a strand of hair out of his eyes. Yeah, it's just very fascinating. You would not be able to tell that just a few years ago, he had been nearly murdered.
Man, what the
So he's
fuck?
doing great. What are your thoughts on this case? Let me know in the comments. Have you heard of Yandere before this? Have you heard of hostess
No,
clubs?
I have not heard.
Let me know. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Please stay safe, and I will see you guys on Wednesday for the main episode. Bye.
Bye, Stephanie. Hey, that nigga, what the fuck? I'm honestly, what I'm saying? Me being somebody who's been through some shit, not like that, but like through some shit, or somebody being like obsessed with you, I could not even want to get to the point where they even want to try to stab me. And then, but like at the same time, I'm like, well, what happened was a canon event. So I'm not really too mad at him saying like, oh, he forgives her and everything. But fuck this bitch, damn. This shit is crazy because she over here talking about she didn't even finish the mission. That's what makes me mad. Like she tried to kill this nigga. Like this is actually this is an insane ass story, bro. I was about to say a lot of mean things, but he survived. So I'm glad that we finally got a happy ending. ish. Yeah, it's a happy ending now until February of next year. So let's hope that let's hope that she don't try to get back over there. I got a question for y'all. Have y'all encountered anybody who has been obsessed with you before? Please let me know your experiences in the comments down below. I hope it's not as bad as this. Or are you one of the obsessors? If you are, just say like, I have a friend that was this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? We not gonna think it's you. You know, because you said it in the comments. But at the end of the day, this was an interesting thing to watch in the morning. I still like this better than the silent killer one, so we're gonna wait till next week. But at the end of the day, I hope you guys have a good day. I'm about to prepare for Stray Kids, so I got to prepare for that. So I'm gonna be awake today. So y'all have a good one.